Computer. Lights.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. Well, I finally read the last little bit of Silver Pentacle. I don't know how I missed that last part. That's so strange. It's such a strange thing for me to miss. I'm still not sure how that worked, but it did. So I finally read the last little bit of Silver Pentacle, and we're going to draw that last frame just so we can get this done. I'm going to go back over the pictures that we have so I can clean them up a little because I want to give a little bit of what's going on here, a refresh so that we've got all of the pictures really nice and clear. They are sketches, and I usually try to keep my sketches really light and not very complicated because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on them and then have somebody say, "Oh, I don't like any of that design." So, um, but on the same token, you want it to be clear. So here we go. We're going to go on ahead and start working on the last of these sketches. This last scene here. So we're going to go on ahead and we're going to zoom in like so and bring up. I have been working on other pieces. I actually was working on a painting that I was trying to figure out how to do. I've been working on digital painting techniques. I got a magazine at the bookstore a couple of days ago that had some secrets and tips for digital painting. I've been working on that. I think that's kind of fun. Okay, so we probably don't really want that. So we're going to go ahead and come in here. And this scene is taking place on a porch. So let's go ahead and get that porch out here. That's kind of important. Right? Oh, man. Really not on. There we go. So one of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw these initially, and then I'm going to redraw them. So on this side here, we have effectively a spider web holding a corpse of a person. Not a very large person either, but with big feet, I guess. That wasn't really what it needs to be, but we'll get there. All right. We got Jordan here. We'll go ahead and kind of square his jaw out a little. He is standing like this. And went ahead and he usually has his long coat, right? There's Zephrine standing here in her dress. And we have Alita standing here. And she's looking specifically this way. And we have Roan standing here. I'm just sketching out where I want these guys to be blocked at. Right. And Jordan's looking out like this because he's looking this way. She's looking this way too. She's looking this way, right? There we go. I'm going to put the Skulky looking down. Okay. I think I like this sort of layout. That's how I'm sort of envisioning it in my head. I think about this particular scene. I'm thinking sort of a concept that they are standing on this patio. They're about to deal with big spiders, I guess, is what the next part of this story is big spiders. I think even I should have a door open like so. So we'll do that. And that way we get kind of this dramatic black back here, which helps us sort of feel like it helps highlight the corpse dangling from the ceiling. Okay. I don't know. I don't remember what we've decided we're wearing here. But this would be definitely the time to. So she's not going to be in a action pose. She has just realized that that is a child, and that's bothering her greatly. So, going back up. Now, sort of feel like maybe looking at this now, re-looking at that scene, I'm going to look and say that our Skulky here is actually here, and the girls are not standing next to him directly, but they are moved over here. This is the best part about using digital stuff, right? Because I can just rearrange them. Maybe actually I'm going to take and flatten that. I think think actually what I want to do with this is take her. She's going to look. I want them all sort of looking in different directions. Like she's looking out this way and ready to take action. Right? Because this is sort of the. And maybe he will be standing a little bit more like this. Make his coat billow a little. I like making his coat billow. If you're going to have a coat, billow it. Right? There we go. That should work. I feel like I like that a lot better. Brent, it's okay, dude. And Merry Christmas Eve to you, too. Tell me how we do today. As far as broadcast goes, in theory, we may have solved our broadcast problems. So that'll be cool to see. Yesterday, my best bud came over and one of the things that I got from Texas was a piano. And getting the piano in here without killing everybody in this household is very complicated. So he's an engineer and he came over to build a ramp. And so we were going to build a ramp and he was watching or doing something on his phone. And he's like, your internet is horrible. And I was like, yeah, we've been dropping all day. Oh, that's what it was. The music was playing on the Alexas and it just kept stopping and then starting and then stopping and then starting and then stopping. You know what I mean? Like it was just brutal. And so he went over and looked at the modem and he said, when did you have you upgraded your service? And I said, well, I mean, not in a year or so. And he's like, well, this is not the newest kind of modem. So he said, I think what's happening is you're getting dropouts because you've got a very, very slow modem running here. So we went out and bought a new modem and a new router. And we bought two separate units so that before it was a modem router, a mouter. And now it's two different units. So, but all of them are DOCSIS 3.1 and all of them are really, the fastest we could get our hands on. So it has been like this for a while with us dropping out and dropping out and dropping out. And I think what's happened is, I think Xfinity actually brought, no, it wasn't, I bought it a few years back, like 2 years ago. But that was part of why I was frustrated was I gave Xfinity back their modem and went and bought my own and put it in there. And within like a year, we were getting dropouts and it was becoming horrible and the connection was bad and yada, yada, yada. But James, just like you, is a tech guy. And he was looking at it going, you're not running whatever that is. DOCSIS is a DOCSIS, I think is the term for it. 3.1, the protocols that are for cable modems. He's like, you're not running 3.1. We need to put you up on 3.1, yada, yada, yada. And so we were talking about it and he's like, well, see, the problem is that, your internal router is probably fine, but the modem is too slow. And he said, so let's get a different item for both of those because, we were talking about this a little bit. And so we've got two different things. We've got a router that looks kind of like an overturned spider, and we've got a modem, and it's kind of cool. So the TLDR on this is that it's done. So we'll see whether I drop out today or not, and I should be here. I should be doing just fine. So, but if we start that, middle of the day where everything starts to become cranky, and I'd be like, well, there we go. So hopefully, knock on the desk here, hopefully we'll be running solid today. But I mean, I'm not going to stop broadcasting every day. So it was a worthwhile expense. So, okay. Now that we've done all 9 of the illustrations for this, I want to redo them because some of them are okay as they are, but some of them are really not very clear. So we're going to make a new raster layer. I'm going to put it all in white and just warp like this. We're gonna draw it back just a hair here to about like maybe there. 75. Okay. And we're going to just go in here and we're just going to redraw them real quick. They're quick sketches, so I'm not really, but they're also different pen sizes, pen weights, everything like that. It's just slightly different on everything, and that's enough to be just confusing. Things like this are not clear, so I'm going to go down here. I'm just going to obviously draw in white on white, which that won't go over very well now, will it? And we're going to just go in here and we're going to just let's do this here. And it's not going to be perfect at all on all of this, but it'll be closer than it was before. Unless you really are stupid. Oh well. There we go. Bring that back. All right. And so I feel like some of my ideas were not as clear. Man. Sorry, guys. I'm allergic to my drawings. A lot of this all takes place on Docks and Piers, in this particular book. And large ships. Right? There we go. There's a big boat there, big boat right here. And I remember when we were drawing this, the idea was that it wasn't always, they were, ships, but they were also like not, they were not classic boats, because this is future. There we go. More like that. And there might be a boat on the horizon out here. But mostly there is wreckage out in this port. Like so. Yeah, it's steampunk. There we go. We're kind of getting things along here. Uh-oh. One of my stepmom's friends is a beloved friend. However, she has a habit of texting a lot on holidays, which is not normally a problem, but it may mean that my phone might start exploding here soon. No, I'm drawing with ink and layer check. Warp, warp, layer check. Yep. That's what it looks like. Yep. All right. So we'll just do sort of. There we go. And we're not going to keep a whole lot of, I mean, this is just a sketch, but I just want to be clear about what we're talking about, right? I mean, that's a pretty clear drawing there of what's going on. Maybe we'll put some clouds in the horizon here, right? Give kind of an idea that we're talking about, Really? That'd be the time you decided to do that? There we go. So now we have sort of an actual feel of sort of an ocean scene-ish thing. I'm just dirtying up a little bit some of the stuff that's not part of the actual dock, the harbor stuff out to sea. That way it looks, grimier. All of these pieces here. But again, I didn't want to spend too much time on this because I feel like if I do, I regret how much time I've spent on this. So, okay, moving on to the next piece. Start with the big fist. Like his face here is like, "Rrrr." And big brawl here. It does kind of look like he's like, book. We'll take this guy. Here, he's about to get punched. And this guy could probably have his head kind of snapped back a little, like, ow. Ow. Maybe a little bit better here. Like he's gotten punched already. We're gonna have to work on that. To workshop that one. I have the right idea, but I feel like these are masked villains of some sort or another. Right. Yeah, right. We're gonna have to work on that one. We're gonna have to work on that guy. He needs to be workshopped. This is all right. We'll go back to him in a second here. And this guy's down on the ground. But he's got a blaster in his hand, which we can actually draw kind of going off this direction more. All right. A little easier to see what's going on. All right, let's fix this problem here. Actually, I'll just rush them like they were before. Because I think the scene here is really about how our heroes, this guy and this guy, are being bum rushed and taken out by all of these guys. So I can go on ahead, and even though that would be cooler, and I have to admit I would like it a lot better, we'll have to see when we get to the final drawing as to whether that's what we want to do or not. All right. Now we'll look here. I'll just get in here and make sure everything is sort of ooh. You're re-imaging my laptop. When you re-image, it does a completely different thing than when I re-image. I'm just saying. All right. Thugs. Alrighty. Now we'll draw. She has to be a threat of some sort. She has to look like a threat. And the original drawing on her doesn't look very threatening. She looks kind of perplexed, almost. What? Is there somebody here? Really, it should be that. You know what? I'm not going to spend that much time on like making her hand correct. There we go. We're just cleaning it up. Okay, there we go. It was like the raciest scene I've seen in this so far. Are really into racy scenes, these guys are. So, but I think what I can probably do is make it clear she's disrobing without actually like showing anything, because I feel like the publisher is not really into the idea of nudity, which cracks me up. It's a very racy scene. And it came from the instructions that we were working on. So, but I still have a feeling that probably wouldn't fly well. Ooh, that's intense. Some intense drawing here. Now my hand is kind of little bit of the sparkly pain thing. She doesn't look like the same girl here. So let's go ahead and kind of work backwards on this. Because she is the same girl. So let's go ahead and kind of do this. And this guy. I feel like he doesn't have much hair. Did I give him any hair over here? I give him a little bit, so give him some hair like back here. Like so. And he's got a very hairy back. There we go. Now check it to see if it works. Yep, it works. Well, the artwork's pretty watertight, so that's good. And this one's one of the reasons why I wanted to redo this, because this one's just a little weird, right? I mean, it's close. But for one, Jordan's head's huge. Yeah. That's a little bit better there. At least now his hand is doing this, like you would if you were holding an amulet, instead of just random blob. Right? So we'll get in here and we will it says that his hands are shackled to his feet, which no matter which way you do it is awkward. Right? So, and then you have her putting a knife to his neck with his hands shackled to his feet, which, that's just difficult. Already difficult, made more difficult by the fact that so I'm going to shackle his hands and feet together like this so that he's not completely stuck. Put that there and then that shackle there like so, because this is kind of complicated and difficult to do. It may be easier when we get maquettes, but no matter which way we put it, it's going to be difficult for us to. I mean, this is where maquettes are going to save our butt on this one, because it's really hard to visualize what's going on in this scene already. But human bodies don't move like this very easily, so. Like I said, this will be easier to use when we end up with maquettes. All right. And what we should do is have him pulling like this. So have his face up more like this. All right. Because then he's got his neck sort of exposed, which makes it easier for us to see that blade. Right? What she's holding. Let's turn that fist into that blade a little bit there. And then she's got her other arm wrapped around him like so. Like that. I'm going to press his shoulder up against her because that's what she's yelling. And we're going to like so. There we go. Much better. Now let's talk about her torso. She's going to be bent forward because this is an awkward, stupid position for a person to be in. Right. There we go. There we go. Chrome restarted without asking. Can I restart? No. Restarting anyway. Could be very much like what happened yesterday. Yesterday, when I first set up the new router, it was it had everything required an app to be installed on my phone. For one, that was very irritating. I didn't mind having the router as an app because I have a kid, and being able to kill the router from remote is actually very useful. But I had to get a special Xfinity app to install to register my router and modem. And then I had, it was like all of this stuff is just so bizarre. And so I did. And as soon as I put in the router stuff, it installed all of these. You've got a 30-day free trial of, and I'm like, oh, that means at the end of January, everything is going to start begging me for money. And that's going to be so aggravating because I didn't want any of it anyway. But we had this Defender app that got installed on my phone. And for like a good 40 minutes, it was checking every device to see if there were vulnerabilities. And it was so funny because it was just pinging and pinging and pinging and pinging and pinging and pinging and pinging. And it was remarkably irritating. So, very funny experience that we had yesterday. Pinging and pinging and pinging and pinging and pinging. Okay. I'm going to go through here. What we're doing is this. And right up here. And this is down in the underground. So I'm going to... There's so much underground in these books, I swear. There's an underground in the other one, too. Okay. Double checking to make sure it looks okay. Really want to make that blade look threatening of some sort. We'll get back to it. I don't know. I shouldn't spend much time on this. This is just a rough drawing so that they will see what I'm trying to do. Right? So I really shouldn't spend much time on it. But it looks pretty good. I should give her at least the inkling of an inkling. Give her a foot. Yeah, right. But everything had a trial version. And that means that everything is going to be begging me to give it money. All right, moving back to this guy here. I actually kind of liked where we were with this guy, so it's not going to need a whole lot. But I imagine she now has a blaster. Ho, ho, ho. And originally, when I did this, I was saying I wanted some more action in this. So I leaned her into this pose, leaning forward, putting a lot of threat and pressure into this. And she's pointing to Alita, who's over there, or Aletta. Having some anatomy issues suddenly. There we go, much better. Just enough that we can identify what's going on here, right? And this is Elio 5, right? So let's go back and look at it real quick because I want to know. This is 6. Okay, so looking at this scene, I don't know. She yanked herself free of Noble. I feel like there's the kid here. I think so too. I think this is a good time for us to take a quick break and stand up at least. Because I feel like this is a good time for us to stretch. Oh, goodness. Oh, man. Yeah, somewhere in the house. Ow, but not there. Morning, Luna. How you doing? And happy Xmas to you too. Okay. There we go. Oh man. Well, stretch a little. Oof. Pop things, make things pop. So, Hey, good to see you, Luna. And good to see you, Brent. Everybody's all here. The gang's all here. No, the gang's all here. I like the fact that I have both of you guys here clearly And it says that I have one viewer. There is definitely something going wrong with the viewer count. I don't think it works like we think it will. Morning. Okay, back to work for us. I feel like this scene here needs to be more dramatic and drawn out. So we'll get back into this. So got her here. I like where Jordan is on this. But so the question really is, yes, all of the above. Let's see here. The question is, because she says in this scene, the woman says, my best friend, referring to the kid. And there's no kid in this scene. All I want is the kid. You can have the rest. Right? So, Yeah. Okay, so all she wants is a kid, but the kid, as we see him in this next scene, is on a piece of driftwood. So we just need to put in Jordan, who's putting his expensive hands out to say, hey, we don't need to fight today. Because I get the feeling that no matter what, there we go. This wasn't actually that. Give his thumb here. There's no reason not to. Like so. There we go. And we will do that. And then we'll bring in here, like so. Foot. Something's afoot. That's a foot. And then Zephrem has a piece of driftwood. Or at least what it looks like a piece of driftwood. But that's okay. Also part of the story. As I recall with her, she's got fluffy hair. We'll worry about her later. And this is our big bruiser. So he's not big enough really to be. He was sitting out here holding her. And then he lost his blaster. So we're going to put him in a much bigger. Right, he's bigger. He's a bigger guy. He's this guy in the other shot. So I want to make sure that we've kind of got him figured out here. Because it's the same guy, the big bruiser. Hold on real quick. Oh, man. There we go. All right. So that's sort of one of the things we're going to have to work on there. Make sure my coffee is set up. There we go. I've got this rack of papers right here next to my left knee. Sometimes it's just difficult to kind of deal with there. All right, so the big bruiser now looks more like a big bruiser. Which should be, there we go. And I feel like then Aletta is preparing to toast her. Because Aletta has the fire ability. So she's got one hand going that way. I haven't decided what Aletta's wearing in this. She probably is more practical than Zephrine. But at least we can kind of see it there in a circle here. We have our salty sea captain back here in his pea coat. I got a pea coat now. Speaking of pea coats. And the reason I got a pea coat, sadly, is because I got my dad's pea coat. But, it's still a pea coat. It's cool. Pea coats are cool. Navy pea coats. Right. There we go. Better. I feel like this is a better drawing of it. I like it better. It works better. Okay. Now, speaking of little kids, let's get the little kid tied up on the rock here. Yeah, I'm just saying that. Hello, Tormund. Good old cat. Good old young cat, because he's a kitten. But I'm noticing that there's an awful lot of kids getting it in this particular book. And she's got this poor kid who I envisioned him having curly, fluffy hair, but I don't remember. And he's tied up on a rock at sea for a long time. And then she has another kid and gets eaten by a spider. Right. Give some rocky outcrops here for this rocky outcrop. There we go. Right? George does that too. Like all of a sudden, he'll be licking his hindquarters and he'll look over at his tail, and his tail will twitch. And he'll snap at it, and it'll twitch, and he'll snap at it, and it'll twitch, and he'll snap at it. And then he has to run off in like some kind of, you know, it's been very particularly funny. Yeah. You've taught him how to play catch. Good job. I've only had one cat that would play catch. Only one. And she'd only do it with wrappered candy. So you take a wrapper like a Starlight Mint, and with the two wraps on either side, you throw it down the hallway, and she'd go tearing after it, grab it, bring it back, drop it at your foot. You take it and throw it, and she'd go tearing off, grab it, come back, drop it at your foot. Consistently, she'd do that 5, 6 times in a row before she got bored of it. Good cat. Called her Luna. Hey, so problem is you're having anatomy issues again. Now, this doesn't surprise me in the least because I would have anatomy issues since I haven't done any pre underdrawing effectively except for the drawing that's here. But it's still very funny when I have anatomy issues. But I'm not doing underdrawings because I don't want to have to. It's a lot of work when again, we don't want to spend too much time on this. But I do want to be able to express the emotion so that I can see what it is I was doing later. What was I attempting here? Right. Yeah, so that's exactly what it's supposed to be. So Jordan here is kissing this kid on the forehead because the poor kid's been sort of um he's a merman or whatever, so he's not quite human, and so he's been mistreated by most people, but he's half human. His mom was a human, and so this is a little bit of a moment where Jordan, the character Jordan, is saying, "Hey, you belong to this team," sort of thing, which I liked. I liked the scene. I was talking to, oh man, woo! I was talking to uh, Ron about this, and apparently, what Ron does is he likes the illustrations to be equally spaced in the book. So he prioritizes what illustrations we put in by where they are in the book. So they're equally spaced by X number of words. And so because of that, I routinely will end up with an illustration which illustrates a scene that does nothing. Two people just chatting with each other or whatever. Instead of him putting an illustration where the key heated parts of the book are. And this is closer to the way C.S. Lewis did the illustration plates in the original Narnia series, which is cool. I don't have a problem with that at all. But it does mean that, some of the coolest scenes in the book, I'm like, I don't get to illustrate that, So I was pretty happy when this particular scene came up as an illustration because it is kind of nice. It's a nice scene to have Jordan saying, "You belong to the team," to the Selkie here. Right? There we go. So there we go. So that's that. And then we have this last image, a last plate. I kind of wanted to get in here anyway because it did look a little strange. This is the reason why I was like, I think I kind of want to redo these. And we're gonna do this, and this, and this, and this. And it's kind of gruesome here. No, it went the other way. There we go. Kind of stuck to the ceiling there. And I keep forgetting that Jordan's hair is sticky and spiky. So, like so. The reason that's significant is because I can identify Jordan when he's standing out here, provided I do his hair correctly. Otherwise, he just looks like some rando dude. They're not worried. They're concerned. And even then, I made his head just a little too big. Having issues here with anatomy again. So 2 weeks off, I'm noticing on drawing means that now I'm having it's been a long time since I put a lot of stress on this wrist. So, it's nothing alarming or anything like that. It's just that I'm noticing that there is a lot of stress going on this wrist here. There. That makes it a whole lot easier to deal with. I can sit here and draw everything, or I could just do the thing. I feel like he's got probably webbed fingers. All right, so we'll depict that a little and then we'll work on that. We'll workshop that later. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm not even, hello. But I'm not really sure I know what language we're speaking here. I guess Geola sounds Spanish Portuguese. Perhaps Latin? some of the words look like they're Latin or Latin derivative. I say deus, sanctum. But I'm sorry, Ghoulie. I don't recognize the language. Although it could be Portuguese, which would be cool. Anyway, welcome. Welcome to my drawing channel. I'm sorry that I can't communicate very well with you. It's kind of a bummer not being able to speak all languages. I think that would be cool. It'd be really neat to be able to speak all languages. Unfortunately, I only speak 2. Although I can recognize quite a few more. There are only 2 that I speak. I think I've made her too tall as well. I always made Aletta to be very short, right? Quite a bit shorter. Basque, huh? Cool. I think that's the first time I've seen Basque as a language. That's pretty kick butt. Still cool. I'm always fascinated whenever people drop in from other places in the world. There once was a time where it was, I don't know if we've decided to let us in a and what's sad is I always really hate when people say you have to speak English, I hate that. However, on the flip side, I can't speak if you don't speak Japanese or English, I'm kind of lost. But everybody's welcome as long as you're nice, so I don't care. It doesn't matter. You don't have to speak English. It's totally, you're all welcome. Everybody's welcome. It's when you're a jerk like those other guys were that one time, things don't get good. So there we go. And I feel like that's a pretty solid redraw. I think all of the pictures are now much clearer. Make a lot more sense. So I think what I'm going to do next is this. Just select the gray and go up one layer, right? And just take this guy and go like that. Right? We put that layer here, bring that in. We hit deselect. And because the nature of things here, kind of liking the idea of going back in and just tapping this again, then going here and hitting delete. Oh, Control Shift I. Right. No. Control Shift I. There. Yeah. Fine. Yeah, we haven't had to mess with that for a while. Well, now I need to do this part, which is kind of aggravating. Now we got to select everything that's blue. So I'm going to apply to connected pixels only like that. And we'll go up onto this level here. And I kind of, before I had done this in this blue, and I'm regretting my life choices here. It's hard to read. So I'll go there, apply to connected pixels, and do that. There we go. Then deselect. There, see, everything's much easier to read now. Like that. Right? All's clear and makes some sense. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Okay. I'm going to stand up. Oh my gosh. Yep. So kind of feel like the ghoulie is wishing us a Yule time greeting. That's what I feel like is going on here. It's cool. We're going to take and add another layer. And this layer is going to be white. And this is underneath everything else. I'm going to take this layer, since I've already put in everything else here. I'm just going to connect that. And we're going to make a rectangle. And we're just going to put it underneath there. There we go, like that. And that way, we don't have to worry about it as much. We put a white layer underneath all of the artwork so that everything's kind of flattened out a little bit. And then we're going to, looks like a couple of things need to be just kind of touched up. Like through here. Yeah, and then I think we're pretty much off to the publisher. I think we'll send that over to So that's what I think is going on. So huh. Looks like everything that Ghoulie is talking about is Latin, like straight up. Right? Although it does look like the last line's Portuguese. And it's too bad Ghost Hand's not here. Ghost Hand probably could have helped us translate that out. Although it looks like some of it looks like it's direct Latin and not Portuguese. I do want to make one quick fix. Right here, we have. I'm always fascinated by what people post and things. Just wanted to finish the roof line here. Maybe add some clouds to show this is daylight, you know. And it gives some. That's a weird cloud, guy. Yeah, it is a weird cloud. I think I'm going to do something about that because that's just a strange cloud. There we go. Just give kind of the feeling that that's daylight and stuff is going on here. It's, you know, we really should put sort of like this. Give sort of the awning effect there so it feels more like an awning. And maybe even a structural support there. Because they're on a patio. And now I can make it feel much more like it needs to, like it is. Here, do that. And now I feel like we're pretty good. Question really is, we've got about 15 minutes left. I don't know if I want to put any kind of color or grayscaling into it. I think I want to just leave it like it is and let them figure it out. So we're going to call this good. I'm going to call it sketchboard 2 though, so that we can keep the original sketches in case we need to ever go back and for some reason work on the original sketches, but I think these will be fine. But knowing that we've got to do something here. So, okay, we've done our bit for King and Country. This guy now, let's, I think I need to make the size smaller though. Change image resolution, because our image resolution is super high right now. So we will shrink it down. It makes it hard to send this via email. So There we go. Now we can just let this one go to the publisher. Alrighty. That's good. So maybe we will go on ahead and break a little early because it's only going to be 10 minutes early. But I don't, you know how it goes with me. I get started on these things and I hate getting started on something else and then only working for 5 minutes. It's so aggravating. So it's kind of like I'd rather just go on ahead and take a break early here. And wow, the motorcycle gangs are heading out. Anyway, take a break here and then see you guys on Monday. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I don't have anything on Monday specifically. Let's see what we got on Monday as far as work goes. Because it looks... Oh, yeah. I really should get a snack before I walk, shouldn't I? Yeah, it looks like next week's pretty open. Doctor's appointment at 2:30 on... There we go. So... Spring's Monday and Geek Tank on Monday, so it'll be our normal Monday there, even though we are in the holidays. But, you know, we like broadcasting. You don't have to be here. You can go spend time with your family if you need to. That's always an option. We'll always be here somewhere. You can always just come to catch up with us later. So I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas if that's a holiday you celebrate. I hope you guys have had a wonderful Passover, if that's a holiday, or not Passover, Hanukkah, Shaka Khan, if that's a holiday you celebrate. We got Kwanzaa. Boy, there's a lot of things in here. You work Monday, so you'll be here with us, huh? A lot of holidays in this time. I hope you had a happy solstice. I hope, I wish you a darkest time of the year. It's that time of the year where we all go, oh no, all of the early proto-humans said, oh no, it's dark. I hope that the gods don't kill us. And somebody said, we'll have a party. And everybody went, oh, that's a good idea. So I hope you had a good party in the darkness of the year, and whatever that is, and however you celebrate it. And then I will see you all on Monday, and we will come up with the end of the actual year as we roll in next week. So until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful holiday weekend and keep your eyes on the stars. Goodbye. Computer, good night.